Chris, we've reached the end of our season. How would you reflect on our first season back in Step 5?
Tough. It's been a long one for sure. It it's probably gone better than we thought it would in terms of where we were in the summer. And just speaking to a few of the lads writing it out there now, it's the last time we're going to kind of play that card. We lost everyone, and we just had to grab anyone we could, and we would just wanted to try and win a couple of games and pray it was enough to stay up. So it was a tough summer, like I said, cancelling family holidays and that, just to constantly be on the phone. It was tough. And then, like you said, we used the undercard tag for quite a while. Got lads to sort of run through brick walls, and we had a plan in place that come January we hoped to be a bit stronger and a bit more fluid once the lads had got experience behind them and got used to playing together. That kind of happened in December. We went five wins on the bounce, and we were absolutely flying. And then the skies opened, and it rained for 2 months solid, and no one could play football. So it killed our momentum a little bit. And then you kind of finish with a little bit of disappointment that if we had won a few more of those games towards the end, we could have sat just outside the playoffs. I know the points gap is a decent size between us and what would have been needed, but just to be them a couple of places higher, I think would have give everyone some proper confidence going into next year. But we spoke to the lads after Saturday. It was a good performance, a decent result, I suppose, on the day. Clean sheet, and that's all we can ask from the boys. Just do the right things. Let's see what happens. So, yeah, like I said, way ahead of where we thought we would be, way ahead where we thought the fans kind of expected us to be come August. There was panic stations amongst some of those boys for sure. But listen, credit to the lads, and what we have to remember is it's not just the boys that finished when we were in trouble in the summer. Jack Cowards and Charlie Warrens, Faz, Jez, that have all since moved on for various reasons. They were the catalyst in getting us up and running and sort of giving us the season that we wanted. So the boys that are here have been incredible. Those boys that have done their bit and moved on were as incredible. And obviously it's been a toughie.
It has, and those predictions and those thoughts that others outside the club may have had of us going into this season, and that underdog tag that you mentioned, do you think that helped or hindered us in certain moments this season?
Maybe a bit of both. I remember playing Newquay away towards the start of the season, and we were really poor first half, and we were really, really good second half. Kind of summed up most of our away games, if I'm honest. But we were really disappointed. We 2 down, we got it back to 2-2, and we lost 3-2 really late on. And I think it was that maybe was a bit of the turning point, that we kind of belonged at the level. We were disappointed on the day. I don't think anyone really thought Newquay would be as good as they are. That they're a decent outfit, great club. You see that in their attendances and stuff. But I think it's there it started to turn a little bit, that lads that maybe didn't believe and took a punt on coming here because we needed players started to believe that they could play at the level. And then, like I said, yeah, it was tough, mate. People were doubting you, and I'm quite a confident guy when it comes to football. I'm confident in what I can deliver and how I can do it. I get good people around me in terms of management team and people on the pitch that I know I can trust and do it right. But yeah, you start to hear things, don't you? And it was bleak, and I was having conversations at home whether I was the man for the rebuild. I know a couple of the fans were questioning me at the time, and listen, some of them are great friends, and I speak to after every game. They're just very honest. We've sat in a pub before, and one of them's outright told me I wasn't the right man, and now it's a bit of a different story. So I've had to work hard to prove myself. I've always done it. I didn't have the playing background of a lot of the managers that are coming through now that are at local clubs. They've all played a good standard. I never had that. I've had to graft and wait and probably get a little bit lucky in terms that I took the job with someone that without him may not have got the job. So a bit of both maybe. Like I said, I think it was good in some senses that it pushed lads an extra 10%, but in games maybe where we wanted to be a little bit better and stuff, we probably didn't deal with didn't deal with it well enough in terms of getting over the line.
You mentioned pushing and getting 10% more out of the lads, and I think throughout the season we've seen a number of players continue to improve and consistently perform to a better level and a strong level compared to when they joined. That rebuild you mentioned, and having to go through not just one but two, and then arguably this is the third.
Yeah.
How much of the energy you find from outside of football comes into the role you have here?
You have to have it. You know what I mean? If I'm fortunate enough that Zoe's very invested in football, so if things aren't going well, she'll know what to say, and not when I doubt myself as such, because I don't. Once the season's up and running, I don't do it, and I know I'm good enough. It's more them tough periods. I mean, we were out for a day in pre-season. I think we left the house at 9 a.m. We got back sort of 8, 9 at night, doing the sort of Jurassic coastal walk or something she wanted to do to keep her happy. And mate, I'm on the phone for pretty much the 10, 12 hours talking to players that were at the club, trying to convince them to stay, trying to get new lads in. So, and it's mentally tough. It is mentally tough. Like I said, we both work full time, and we have the kids as well, and got to make sure that they're living the dream and getting everything they want. But yeah, it's hard, and without a decent network around you, then obviously you can see why some people struggle sometimes. But like I said, Zoe, the family are great. People at the club are great. Like Taff, as much as a nuisance he is unreal. Do you know what I mean? He'll tell me as it is, but he seems to finish each conversation with a little bit of buttering up to keep me sweet. So yeah, you surround yourself with good people in life, not just football, and it makes it a lot easier for sure.
Surrounding yourself, and you mentioned it previously as well, with lads you can depend on the pitch. How much credit would you give those that did stick around and those that did come back for the way we've kicked on at certain points in this season and to the strong finish that we've achieved?
Yeah, massive, mate. Like I said, without a few committing early doors, it could have been worse, and probably would have been me out of the job. You know, it would have been too big with what we're competing against in terms of clubs in and around us that can probably offer more and better facilities and stuff. It's tough area. It's a proper tough area. So, like the Creedys, Jacobs, Mannies, Fabians committing early, and it shows a bit of faith in you. You know, Faves has probably been the best signing, if not definitely up there with one of them since we took the job. Is where he conducts himself. He's top lad, nice kiddie away from football, and like I said, those people become friends, not just your players. So yeah, a few of them nailed down early, which give us a platform to then try and build on. We had, like I said, the core of lads that come in that we mentioned earlier that moved on were brilliant, and then like lads that have stuck it out, they've been absolutely sound. Training this year has been night and day compared to last year. Last year, lads didn't want to train. Ultimately, you say it as it is. They were too arrogant or too good for the level, and they knew they could rely on their ability. Come Saturday, we didn't train many times. This year, we've trained all the way through. Club have massively supported that by paying out for Larkle 4G, and obviously we thank Gilly up there for sorting that out. He's been sound. So numbers have been really good. Sessions have been really good. It's kept everyone together, and like you said, numbers have been strong, and it shows in the squad. Everyone in a tough league where you do a lot of travelling, everyone's stuck at it. Like lads, and the commitment, and it's only been the last couple of weeks that commitment's been a bit wank, and we've gone to Helston and St Blaise with 12. That's the disappointing part. You know, if you go full squad and you can nick a few more points down there, that proper cements you in a decent position. But lads have been absolute legends all year. Like I said, you couldn't knock any one of them, even to the point. Little Josh has come up from the reserve the last couple of weeks. Took him to Helston. He got on early because of an injury. Went to Shepton, didn't put him on, and then he could have just sacked off St Blaise on Saturday, but travelled down, give him a start. He got man of the match, and credit to the Resis boys. You know, the management and the players that are in there. They've supported us properly this year. I think the link is a lot closer than it's ever been in terms of bouncing players between. We work with them a little bit. There's a few lads out there now about to play in the Malmesbury game. So the club's good. So lads have been great. Management have stuck at it all year and asked and delivered what I've asked for ultimately. And like I said, it's just now about tidying things up and being better next year.
Before we come on to next year, of course, we do still have one game left, the Les Phillips Cup final. Talk me through your reaction to us reaching that, but also how do you reflect on our cup campaigns this year?
Yeah, I said the Wilts Cup was one we had to go strong in. The level of opposition in there, you can't mess around ultimately. So we went strong. We did all right. Like I said, we got the big Swindon tie that the club were happy with. And I probably got it wrong on the day in terms of team selection. I think, without being harsh to any individuals, yeah, would it have changed the outcome? Probably not. They were a decent side. So the Les Phillips is one we had a team meeting about early doors, identified it as a competition we didn't need to waste our time in. And it's no disrespect to the league or the teams we were drawn against. Ultimately, we had to stay in this division. All focus was on getting enough points on the board as quickly as possible to try and achieve that. And we ultimately gave it to the reserves. We gave it to Ross and Simon to manage with all their lads. And in the Radstock game, it was pretty much a full reserve squad, and they were brilliant on the night to get past Radstock. Cadbury Heath was a mixed squad. Bocco was a mixed squad. And then obviously it all got a little bit real then that Ivy Bridge in the semis was Devises before that, sorry. Devises, Ivy Bridge looked like your path, and they don't come around too often. So obviously the club made a decision, and it's tough for those boys because they were brilliant, the gaffers and the players. But yeah, it was a decision that was made for us to step back in and use the proper full squad. And like I said, it's not one I was easy with, but ultimately we had to get on with it. We'll make sure that they're travelling down for the cup final and be part of it. They deserve that, but they don't come around too often, mate. So it'll be a good day for the football club. The lads have got to embrace it and enjoy it, no matter what happens. And it's a tough situation to be in because we finished last Saturday, and it's a 4-week gap between between finishing and the final. So not something I've ever experienced before, and trying to deal with that gap because you run the risk of playing friendlies and getting injuries. But then if you were playing league games, it's no different. So we've put a plan in place. I think we've booked up 2 coaches, and we're just looking to book a third. So we'll be followed in some serious numbers. And like I said, it is what it is. Go down there, enjoy it. It's a game of football. We've seen in the Wilts Cup this week, form and league standings, it all goes out the window if you can apply yourself properly, get a little bit of luck here and there, bit of class at the right time. Anything's possible.
Of course, and before we start to talk about the off-season and preparations for next year, is there a standout moment from this season that you look back on and brings a smile to your face?
Struggle to remember last week, if I'm honest, let alone the season. There's been a few, mate. Like you said, there's been individuals coming through. Kai scoring in the Les Phillips semis for us. Again, another kid that stepped up this year and been brilliant for us. He fully deserved that. There's your last-minute winner at Shepton recently. We've had good performances and good results. Polton early doors, winning at home, sort of give everyone in the club a bit of belief and settled everyone a little bit that we were going to pick up points then. So, but listen, just get into the cup final. When we took the job, it was always going to be tough. We knew what was coming that first year. We've rebuilt, and then in the last couple of seasons, we've won the playoffs and got a promotion. We've got a cup final this year. So it's been a good couple of years, mate. I try not to get too wrapped up in it. I'll enjoy it when the season's over and I can reflect on things. And like you said, you get people message you now and say what a great job you've done with what you've got available and what happened. And it's kind of now that everything's starting to slow down and settle, you look back and you think, yeah, we've done a proper decent job. The management team have been unreal this year. Like I said, again, the club have supported us and we're in a really good place, mate. We should be happy with what we've done. But yeah, standout moments. There's been a couple, but the season as a whole has been almost as successful now before the final, if not more so than last year.
Absolutely, and you're heading into your fourth year at the club now. In your time here, a lot of achievement, if you mentioned. Is there anything you want to still achieve for the football club?
The list is endless. It depends how realistic you are and how much you can kind of sort of make sure you deliver. There's a lot of things going on at the football club at the minute, and it's not for me to kind of say on socials that'll come out in time. But you know, if we carry on the sort of the way we're going, and they can keep up their end and deliver what they're hoping to, then mate, the sky will be the limit for here. It's a big club with a big following. For a club that's kind of not that old, there's a lot of sort of history here as such. So mate, I'd love to be here and for another couple of years deliver what the chairman wants. We had a plan when we took the job. We're still on course for that. But ultimately, when you take a job, if you can walk out and leave it in a better place than you found it, then you've done a great job. Do you know what I mean? So we couldn't really fail on that part from where it was. But even if it was just a sort of a steady club, we've rebuilt it more off the pitch than on it. And like I said, you come down now and the clubhouse next door is thriving. Everything's tidy here. The sponsorship, the ground's full of boards. Team's good, pitch is better. So I could walk out tomorrow, hold my head high, and know that I've done a decent job. I've left this in a really good place, that it's now sustainable and able to move forward. But I'm not in football to kind of just finish mid-table and become a chore or a drag. We want to achieve things. So if we finish top 10 this year, then obviously the aim next year is to close that gap, no matter what league we're in, whether it's Western or Hellenic. See if we can get in and around the playoffs. If we get in, great. If we miss it by a place or a couple of points, then at least it's a step ready for the following season. And keep delivering. Like I say, if we can nick a trophy here in there and just create memories for the fans, and that's what the cup final will be. Win, lose or draw. Ultimately, that's a memory for the fans. We made the Les Phillips Cup final, same as the playoff final last year. They've all got their memories. You see the videos from last night's game, the Wilts Cup game. People celebrating like mad, and it's local football to everyone else, but to a core group, this is what they love and their passion for it. So if I can create a couple more memories over the next couple of years, if the missus will let me stay in the game that long, then so be it. And obviously I've got to deliver. I have to deliver it. This is, as much as it is local football, chairmen and clubs will get itchy feet if you're not delivering, and they have to stay at step 5. With step 5 comes your FA Cup runs and finances. So I've got to make sure we deliver as a management team. And like I said, I think we're in a good place with that off the pitch. There's 6 of us now. You know, Rutty come in and has been unreal. Nick does his bit. Sarah as physio has made sure the lads have stayed fit last couple of years. So we've been really good there. Young Ty's at 15. We've given him loads of responsibility, and he does the goalkeeper stuff. So he has to make sure that he stays doing schoolwork and stuff to be able to do that. And then obviously the media team now it was you doing an excellent job. Now we've got Luke there and Connor potentially doing bits. We've seen his video the other week, and it was incredible. So mate, we'll push this as far as we can on the pitch, off the pitch. You guys, the chairman and stuff, and like I said, let's see what happens.
You mentioned the fans and the memories for the fans ahead of that final cup game. Do you have a message to the supporters?
Yeah, just enjoy it. Same as normal, really. It's not one you want to get too excited about. Yeah, it would just the old cliche in it is enjoy the day, behave, chant, sing for 90 minutes. If it goes wrong early doors, pick us up. If we're on top for a bit and we get ahead, keep us there. And that's what I said. As much as it is non-league football, when the legs are starting to slow, but you've got a band of fans like we have that are screaming and shouting, it massively helps. It helps from the sidelines to make sure that we stay on top and we keep pushing. But ultimately, like I said, it's been an unbelievable season. they've been unbelievable travelling in numbers. We've lost games and they've stood behind and clapped us off and drank with us in the club after. And like I said, they're an unreal bunch of blokes. So like I said, enjoy your day out. Hopefully we'll celebrate with a beer after.
Thank you, Chris.
Legend.